Camille Brooks learned early that silence was survival. At 26, she'd perfected the art of being invisible. Shoulders tucked, eyes down, hands steady, as she refilled champagne flutes at the Carlisle Hotel's winter gala. The kind of event where a single bottle of wine cost more than her monthly rent in Bed-Stuy. Han Jae-kwon stood alone near the terrace doors, deliberately isolated from his own men stationed around the ballroom. The champagne in his hand had gone warm an hour ago. Around him, conversation stopped mid-sentence. Eyes slid away. Someone was setting a trap. When Camille passed close enough to refill a nearby glass, he caught her wrist. Not hard. Just enough. "Stay close," he said quietly in English, his accent slight but present. "And when I ask, say yes." She should have pulled away. Instead, she met his eyes and recognized something she'd seen in her own mirror. The weight of knowing exactly how bad tonight could get. "I'm working," she said, voice low. "I can buy this hotel." Fact, not arrogance. But right now I need something money can't purchase. Credibility. Across the room, 3 men in expensive suits watched Jae-kwon with the kind of focus that preceded violence. "You're in trouble," Camille said. "Not yet, but my second-in-command just left through the service entrance with Park Jin-ho's wife. My cousin arranged this. In 10 minutes, someone will start a scene. Questions, allegations, very public." He shifted position, blocking her exit. "Or I can walk out with my wife above the drama." Camille stared at him. At the sharp cut of his jaw, the white shirt with 4 buttons undone, the black dragon's tail curving up his neck, at the careful stillness that reminded her of her brother before he got arrested. "I don't know you." "No, but you understand leverage." His eyes held hers. "I'm offering you $10,000 to stand next to me for 2 hours. $10,000. Her mother's medical bills, the eviction notice in her kitchen drawer. 20,000, and you never contact me again after tonight." Surprise flickered across his face, then something darker. "Done." The room shifted as they moved together. A woman in red, stunning, Korean, dripping in diamonds, went very still. Jae-kwon positioned them center ballroom, hand warm on her lower back. "What's your name?" "Camille Brooks." "Camille, I'm Han Jae-kwon. Tonight you call me Jay." A young man approached, handsome, expensive suit, murder in his eyes. "That's Min-jun," Jae-kwon said quietly. "My cousin. He bribed my security detail. So the information about my second's affair. When he gets here, lean into me." Min-jun reached them, smiled toxic. "Hyung, I didn't know you were bringing a date." "Some things are worth protecting." Jae-kwon's thumb moved in a slow circle against Camille's spine. "Min-jun, this is Camille, my wife." The word landed like a gunshot. Min-jun's smile froze. Phones appeared. Whispers spread. "Wife? How unexpected." "We kept it private." Jae-kwon looked down at Camille with an expression so convincing she almost believed it. Some gifts aren't meant to be shared with the family. Min-jun's jaw tightened. "Congratulations. I'm sure the elders will be thrilled." "I'm sure they will." Jae-kwon guided Camille toward the dance floor, leaving Min-jun standing alone. "You just made him look weak," Camille said as they reached the floor. That was the point. Jae-kwon positioned them, one hand on her waist. He expected panic. Instead, "I showed him I'm so secure I got married without permission." They began to move. The music wrapped around them, cameras everywhere. "I just tied myself to a crime boss in front of 300 witnesses," Camille said. "And I prefer businessman with complicated supply chains." Despite everything, Camille almost smiled. The song ended. Another began. Across the room, Min-jun stood with 2 other men, all 3 promising consequences. The woman in red drank something amber, eyes tracking their every movement. "This is going to follow me," Camille said quietly. "People will know my face." "Yes. You should have told me that before." "Would you have said no?" Genuinely curious. Camille thought about her empty bank account, her mother's next treatment. "No." "Then I didn't lie. I just didn't give you information you didn't need to make the decision you were already going to make." His hand shifted on her waist, pulling her fractionally closer. "It's a skill. It's manipulative. Yes, but it keeps people alive, including you tonight." The music shifted, more intimate. Jaquan pulled Camille against him, breath warm against her ear. "They're moving, Jinho's men, shifting toward the exits." She registered the tension in his body. "What do? We finish our dance, we smile, and we walk out the front door while my actual security, who just arrived through the kitchen, makes sure nobody follows us." The final notes played. Jaquan stepped back, keeping her hand in his. He lifted it to his lips, kissing her knuckles while maintaining eye contact. "Ready?" Camille nodded. They walked through the ballroom, confident, united. Min Jun tried to intercept them, but Jaquan simply nodded, acknowledgement without engagement, and kept moving. Outside, a black car waited. The door closed, the car pulled away. Through tinted windows, Camille watched the hotel recede. Only then did she exhale. "Thank you," Jaquan said, exhaustion cracking his mask. "You're paying me $20,000. Don't thank me. The money doesn't buy gratitude, just cooperation." He turned his head. "You could have panicked. You didn't." In the intimate space, details emerged. Fine lines at his eyes, slight scar on his cheekbone, hands resting on his thighs, perfectly still, trained never to show uncertainty. "Who was she?" Camille asked. "The woman in red." Jaquan's expression closed. "Someone I used to know. Someone you cared about. Once. Before I became this. This? The man who uses strangers to win games I'm tired of playing." The honesty caught her off guard. "Then why play?" "Because stopping means dying. My father built this from nothing. Came to New York with $500. He died thinking he'd succeeded. I'm not going to waste his sacrifice because I'm tired." The car turned onto FDR Drive. The East River glittered. "Where are we going?" "My place in Tribeca. I need to make calls, arrange things. Then someone drives you home. With my $20,000. It'll be deposited tonight. Cash, untraceable." He pulled out his phone. "That's what you need, isn't it? Nothing that connects back to this. How do you know what I need? I've spent a decade learning to read people. You want security, safety for someone you love, a way out. And you?" Jaquan was quiet. "I want to be someone my father wouldn't be ashamed of. But that ship sailed." Jaquan's Tribeca loft wasn't gaudy, just clean lines, minimal furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Hudson. The kind of space that cost millions but looked almost empty. 2 hours of phone calls in Korean. Crisis management. Around midnight he finally stopped. "Your second, is he—" "Alive. Barely." Jaquan loosened his tie. The dragon tattoo became fully visible, intricate work, jade eyes, silver flames. "He'll recover. But you can't trust him anymore." "I never trusted him. Trust is a luxury." He moved to the bar. "Want one?" Camille shook her head. "I should go." "Not quite. Tomorrow Min Jun will start spreading rumors. About you. The elders will summon me to explain why I married without approval. Jinho will use this as proof I'm unstable. So correct them. Tell them it was fake. That would be worse. Admitting I lied makes me look desperate." He paused. "But if you're real, if we're real, then I'm a man who does what he wants. That's strength." Camille stood. "You can't be serious. I'm offering you a job. Play my wife in public for 6 months, $10,000 a month, plus $200,000 at the end." Camille's breath caught. $200,000. Her mother's treatment, her debt, a real start. "Why me?" "Because you're real. Everyone else in my world is playing an angle. You just want to survive. That's honest. There's nothing clean about this." "No, but it's cleaner than most things I do." Camille walked to the windows. Below, the city spread out like a circuit board. She thought about her mother in that hospital room, about her studio apartment with roaches and neighbors who screamed at 2 a.m., about how tired she was of being invisible. "Ground rules," she said. "We're not sleeping together. We're not dating for real. Business arrangement. I show up, I play the part, I go home. Agreed. And after 6 months we divorce quietly. No drama. Done." Camille turned. Jaquan stood by the bar, expression neutral. Not pressuring, just waiting. "Why do I feel like I'm going to regret this?" "Because you're smart." but you're going to do it anyway. She was. The first week, a stylist, a language tutor, a consultant named Grace Kim who briefed her on key players. You need to know who's dangerous, Grace explained. Minjun is ambitious but sloppy. Jin-ho is patient and smart. The elders are dying gods who won't give up power until someone takes it. And Jaekwon. Grace studied her. He's the best of a bad generation, which isn't saying much. Their first public appearance, a charity gala in Koreatown. The room went silent when they entered. An elderly man approached, slight, white-haired, cold eyes. Elder Song. Jaekwon greeted him with a bow. May I introduce my wife, Camille? Camille bowed. The gesture felt awkward. Elder Song studied her like livestock. You didn't ask permission. I didn't ask permission to breathe either. Some things are too important to wait for approval. The elder's eyes narrowed. Your father would have consulted us. My father married my mother after knowing her for 3 weeks. I took 6 months. I'm trying to be more thoughtful. Perfect response. Respectful while defending his choice. Elder Song couldn't argue without criticizing the previous boss. We'll speak later. He walked away. They moved through the room. Jaekwon introduced her to dozens of people. Some were polite, others weren't. One woman looked Camille up and down. Interesting choice. I didn't know Jaekwon had a taste for diversity. Jaekwon's hand tightened on Camille's back. Careful, Mrs. Cho, my wife is a guest tonight. Insult her again. And your husband's real estate permits will face unexpected delays. The woman's face went white. She bowed and retreated. Thank you, Camille said quietly. It's self-interest. If they think they can attack you without consequence, they'll use you to get to me. Probably true, but Camille suspected there was more to it. During dinner, she sat between Jaekwon and a businessman named Park, Jin-ho's father. How did you and Jaekwon meet? Park asked pleasantly. Camille's mind went blank. At a gallery opening, Jaekwon said smoothly. Camille was working security. She caught me trying to leave without paying for the wine I'd consumed. Park laughed. And you married her? She made me pay triple. I admired the audacity. Camille ran with it. He tried to tip me to forget it. I refused. He said that made me the first honest person he'd met in New York. And you believed him? No, but he was persistent. Jaekwon's hand found hers under the table, squeezed once. By evening's end, several people told her she was good for him, that he seemed different. In the car afterward, do I make you softer? Jaekwon was quiet. You make me remember what it feels like to be around someone who doesn't want something from me. That's not soft, but it's close. Everyone wants something. I want your money. You want to save your mother. The money is a tool. There's a difference. He glanced at her. You're doing well. Better than I expected. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. Compliments are personal. Observations are tactical. Do you ever stop thinking tactically? No. That's how people like me survive. People like you? People who inherit things they didn't ask for and can't escape. Not self-pity. Just fact. Something in Camille's chest ached. 3 weeks in, Camille's life split into parallel realities. Days, her regular jobs. Nights, misses. Han Jaekwon in designer dresses. The money helped. Medical debt paid. Better apartment. More sleep. But the exhaustion was different now. Performance exhaustion, Jaekwon noticed. You're tired, he said one evening. I'm fine. You have circles under your eyes. You've lost weight. Yesterday you forgot what province my family is from. Daegu, I know. You said Busan. That's Minjun's family. Gentle but firm. You need to rest. I need the money. I'm paying you. You don't need the other jobs. You want me to quit my real work and just do this full time? I want you to stop collapsing. It makes people think I'm not taking care of you, which makes me look weak. There it was, transactional, strategic. Fine, I'll quit catering. Keep the bookstore weekends. Camille, don't. You're right, I'm tired, I'll handle it. But don't pretend you're concerned about me. You're concerned about how I make you look. Jaekwon pulled over, West 23rd Street. He killed the engine. You think I don't care about you? I think you care about what I represent. Is there a difference? His eyes searched her face. You've been in my life every day for 3 weeks. You've met my grandmother, eaten at my table, sat through meetings about hiding money from the IRS. You sleep in my guest room because events run too late. When exactly did caring about what you represent become separate from caring about you? Camille's throat tightened. Don't. Don't what? Don't make this confusing. We have a deal. Business. I can handle business. What if I don't want clean anymore? Outside, New York rushed past. Inside, everything went still. That wasn't the deal, Camille said finally. Deals change. Jaquan's fingers grazed her cheek. I didn't plan this, but you're here, and you're real. And every time someone assumes you're with me for money, I want to tell them, you're the only person who sees me as human. I barely know you. You know I take my coffee black, that I check the locks twice, that I call my grandmother every Sunday and lie about being happy. You know my cousin wants me dead. You know... His voice cracked. You know I'm tired, Camille, and you don't judge me for it. Camille's hand covered his. Jaquan, I know this is complicated, but what started as strategy became something else, and I don't know what to do with that. The honesty was devastating. We go to the gallery, she said, pulling back. We smile, we play our parts, and we don't talk about this again until the 6 months are up. Pain flickered across his face. Understood. He restarted the car. Neither spoke. But at the gallery, contemporary Korean artists, he stayed closer than necessary. And when someone asked how they fell in love, Camille answered, slowly, then all at once. And meant it. The crisis came on a Tuesday. Camille was at the bookstore when Grace Kim called. Get to Jaquan now. What happened? Minjun made his move, meeting with the elders, claims he has proof you're a plant, working with the FBI. That's insane. Doesn't matter what's true. Get to the warehouse in Red Hook. This is bad. The warehouse was industrial, isolated. 2 men let her pass. Inside, 20 men in suits. At the center, Jaquan faced Minjun and Elder Song. Minjun was talking. Background check came back. She was questioned by the FBI 6 months ago about her brother's gang connections. She's been in debt, desperate. Perfect candidate for turning informant. That's a lie, Camille said. Everyone turned. She walked forward. My brother is in prison. The FBI questioned me because they thought I knew where he was hiding. I didn't. I told them nothing. I've never cooperated with law enforcement. A pretty speech, Minjun said. But we have evidence. What evidence? A background check showing I was questioned. That proves nothing except I'm related to a criminal. Half this room is related to criminals. Elder Song studied her. You have debt. Student loans and medical bills, like 40 million other Americans. That doesn't make me a federal agent. But it makes you exploitable, vulnerable. Then where's my handler, the wire, the reports? You've had 3 weeks to watch me. What have you found? Silence. Nothing, because there's nothing to find. I'm a woman who agreed to play a part for money. That's it. Just survival. Your wife is eloquent, Elder Song said to Jaquan, but eloquence doesn't prove innocence. No, Jaquan agreed, tension in his shoulders. But loyalty does. She's here. Knowing what this meeting is about, knowing she could disappear tonight. She came anyway. Or her FBI handlers told her to sell the performance. Enough. Elder Song raised one hand. There's a simple solution. Test her loyalty. Camille's blood went cold. Test how? The elder smiled. Terrible. Kill someone for us. Prove you're willing to do what we do. The room went silent. No, Jaquan said flatly. You don't give orders here. If your wife refuses, we'll know Minjun is right. If she's innocent, she'll have no problem proving it. I'm not asking her to murder someone to satisfy your paranoia. Then you admit you can't control your wife, which means Minjun is correct. You've been compromised. Camille felt Jaquan's control fracturing, saw him calculating odds, looking for exits. I'll do it, she said. Camille, no, not murder. I won't kill an innocent person. But if you have someone who deserves it, someone who's betrayed you, I'll do what needs to be done. Elder Song considered. Acceptable. We have a traitor in custody. Someone who sold information to Jin-ho. You'll execute him tomorrow night, in front of witnesses. If you hesitate, both you and Jae-kwon will join him. They didn't speak in the car. Only at his loft did Jae-kwon explode. What the hell were you thinking? I was thinking they were about to kill you. So you volunteered to become a murderer? That's not the deal, Camille. The deal changed when your cousin decided to frame me. She tried to keep her hands from shaking. What was I supposed to do? Let them execute you because of me. You were supposed to let me handle it. How? By fighting your way out, getting shot. Better than you destroying yourself to save me. He stopped pacing. I can't let you do this. You don't have a choice. I already agreed. Then we run, tonight. I have money offshore. No. Running makes us look guilty. Makes everything Min-jun said true. And your father's legacy goes to someone who'll destroy it. I don't care about the legacy if it costs you your soul. The admission was raw. Camille moved closer, hand on his chest, felt his racing heart. Who is he? She asked quietly. The traitor. Lee Sung-min, one of my father's original people. He's been selling information to Jin-ho for 6 months, got 2 of our people killed. Jae-kwon's jaw tightened. He deserves it, but that doesn't mean you should... Has he been tried? Confessed? This isn't a legal system. But you have proof? Yes. Emails, wire transfers, video of him meeting Jin-ho's people. He's guilty. Then tomorrow night I'll do what needs to be done. She kept her voice steady. And afterward, we'll deal with consequences together. You don't understand what you're agreeing to. Killing someone changes you, I know, I've done it. Maybe. Or maybe it proves I'm willing to fight for people I care about. Jae-kwon's eyes searched hers. When did that happen? Caring about me? Slowly, then all at once. She echoed her words from the gallery. I didn't plan it either. He kissed her then, desperate and fierce. She kissed back, channeling 3 weeks of tension into this moment. His hands cupped her face, thumbs stroking her cheekbones, her fingers twisted in his shirt. When they broke apart, he pressed his forehead to hers. If you do this, there's no going back. You'll be one of us, in their eyes, in the law's eyes, in your own. I know. And you're still willing? I'm still willing. Say at the warehouse in Sunset Park was smaller, more intimate, the kind of place where secrets were buried. 20 witnesses assembled. Lee Sung-min, bound to a chair in the center, was older than expected, 60 maybe. Gray hair, terrified eyes. Elder Song handed her a gun. Make it quick. Camille's hand closed around the weapon, heavier than expected, cold, final. She walked to Lee Sung-min, looked down at him. He was crying. Please, he whispered in Korean. Then English. I have daughter. Grandchildren. You should have thought of that before you betrayed people who trusted you. Her voice didn't sound like her own. Distant, clinical. Behind her, Jae-kwon's presence. Steady. She raised the gun. Lee Sung-min closed his eyes. Camille fired. The shot echoed. Lee Sung-min slumped. Nobody moved. Elder Song stepped forward, examined the body. Well, that's settled. Camille lowered the gun. Her hand was steady. That was the worst part. Satisfied? She asked. For now. He took the gun. Welcome to the family, Mrs. Han. Min-jun's face was ashen. The witnesses dispersed. Jae-kwon's hand found her back, guiding her out. In the car, blocks away. Pull over. Jae-kwon obeyed. She opened the door and threw up. Once, twice, until nothing was left. He handed her water, waited. I killed someone, she said finally. Yes. I'm a murderer. Yes. Do you hate me? No. I hate what they forced you to become. But I could never hate you. She looked at him. He had a daughter, grandchildren. He also got 2 men killed. Young men with families. There are no clean choices in this world, Camille. Just less terrible ones. She knew he was right, but knowing didn't make it hurt less. Take me home. My real home. Jae-kwon drove her to Crown Heights, walked her up, sat with her while she stared at nothing. After an hour, I need to tell you something. What? Lee Sung-min isn't dead. Camille turned to stare. What? The gun had blanks. Lee was drugged to pass out when you fired. He's alive, in protective custody. He'll be relocated, new identity. His family will think he's dead, but he'll survive. The words didn't make sense. You let me think I killed him. I had to. The elders needed to see you pull the trigger. Minjun needed to see you follow through. If you'd known it was fake, you wouldn't have sold it. Anguish in his expression. I'm sorry, I know that was cruel, but it was the only way to protect you. You bastard! Camille hit him, not hard, angry. You let me feel like a murderer. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. He caught her hands. But you're alive, you're not a killer, and Minjun can never question your loyalty again. Camille's eyes burned. I was ready to do it, for real. I know, that's what terrifies me. You were willing to destroy yourself to save me. Maybe that makes me crazy. Maybe it makes you exactly who I need. She should be furious. But exhaustion and relief crashed over her, and she just leaned into him. What happens now? Now? Elder Song is satisfied. Minjun is discredited. Jin Ho lost his inside source, and we... He paused. We keep going, if you still want to. The 6 months aren't up. No. But after tonight, you've earned the right to walk away. Full payment. Protection. You don't owe me anything. Camille was quiet. Outside, Crown Heights lived its life. The world kept turning. What if I don't want to walk away? Jae-Kwon went still. What? What if I want to keep going? Not because of money, because that's... She struggled. Because you see me, really see me, and I see you, and maybe that's worth fighting for. Camille, I'm never going to be safe. My life is violence and lies. Maybe, but I'm choosing this anyway. She pulled back to look at him. One condition. Anything. No more lies. No more tests. If we're doing this, really doing this, it has to be honest. I can't promise I won't fail that. This life doesn't work with perfect honesty. I know, but we try anyway. Deal? He studied her face, then nodded. Deal. We try. 1 year after the Carlisle Gala, Camille Brooks, now legally Camille Han, stood in her mother's hospital room, watching her sleep peacefully. The treatment had worked. Remission. Hope. Outside, New York glittered. Somewhere in the city, Jae-Kwon was managing his empire. Minjun was planning his next move. Elder Song was calculating. Jin Ho was waiting. The game never stopped. But tonight, Camille allowed herself gratitude for the strange path that led here, for the man who'd asked her to pretend and given her something real instead. Her phone buzzed. Dinner at grandmother's Sunday. She wants to teach you jjajangmyeon. Apparently kimchi wasn't enough proof of commitment. Camille smiled, typed back, Tell her I'll bring dessert. And you're doing dishes. Deal. I love you. The words still surprised her, still felt fragile, but they were true. Complicated, dangerous, imperfect, but true. She looked back at her mother, thought about the woman she'd been a year ago, invisible, desperate, surviving, and the woman she was now, visible, dangerous in her own right, thriving, not a fairy tale, not simple, but real. And maybe that was better.